Well, what an interesting week round 3 was. There was upsets. There was surprises. And there was damn right disgrace to the game of football.
For Crisps, he swings it out wide. Phillips has got an issue now, ran into Shepard.
Contact by the knees.
So that's going to go the other way.
50.
And 50 for not throwing it back to the West Coast player. And Jaden Stevenson, he was completely confused.
Hey guys, what's up? Busy125 here. And this is another AFL round review. Round 3 just wrapped up. I just finished watching St Kilda vs Fremantle and kill me. Nah, not really. I was actually really happy with our efforts, but I will talk more about that when I get up to St Kilda and Fremantle. Let's kick off this round review. We started on Thursday night with the Cats and the Crows. Not once did the Cats show any signs of weakness. Danger was great. Brian Myers coming up from out of nowhere. He was phenomenal. Charlie Constable looked like he didn't miss a beat from his form against Melbourne. And overall, the Cats are the team to beat right now. 3-0 on top of the ladder. What are we going to do about the Cats? As for the Crows, major red flags start to come up for the Crows. They've now lost 2 games in a row at home. Of course, they weren't consecutive games. They're 2 games in a row at home. They beat Sydney, the SCG, then Sydney haven't won away from home. Sydney are hard to predict. Adelaide are very hard to predict at the moment as well. But the Cats have the Giants this week in Geelong, and I reckon the Cats, that's another win right there. Alright, like GWS were tremendous this week against the Tigers, but I don't see the Cats losing at home. Especially in this form that they're in at the moment, they're pretty much unstoppable. Adelaide have to travel to Marvel Stadium next week to take on North Melbourne, and that will be very, very interesting. Can North finally get a win? I don't know. Can the Crows get their second win away from home again? I don't know. Next week's going to be pretty hard to tip. There's a lot of games in there that I reckon could go either way. That pretty much come down to who's available, who's in good form on the day, what weather conditions suit people. It's going to be a hard round to predict, this one. It's going to be hard. The next game was on Friday night. The D's taking on the Dons. Both teams were 0-2 heading into this one, and unlike most people, I tipped the D's in this one, and boy did that not work out for me. The Dons started off strong in the first quarter. They came out, I think they were on, I think it was 40-19 at quarter time, and then the D's had a big second quarter, nailed 7 or 8 goals, I reckon it was, yeah. And then that was it. That was it. The D's just played a good second quarter, but then like they just stopped. I don't know what happened. The Dons just ran away with it. It was really good for the Bombers fans to see their team get up and get a win, because everything in the media last week was just anti-Essendon, and it just did not work out for them at all. All the plays that they had against us that were played over and over and over again, they were coach killers. Worsfold was under the pump, and his team came up and they stepped up nicely. Essendon have Brisbane this week at the MCG. Now that is a game to watch. Can Essendon finally start to show the form that we all thought they were going to have before the season started? Or just maybe do Brisbane go potentially 4-0? That sounds great to Lions fans. 4-0, something they haven't seen in a while. You know, and last time Brisbane started the year 3-0, they did play finals, and we've got to put all credit to Brisbane right now, and to Essendon. Essendon did well, Brisbane did better. This week, there are some major red flags being shown in Melbourne at the moment. Melbourne have to travel up north to versus Sydney at the SCG. This game could go either way. Melbourne, who are in shocking form at the moment, or Sydney, who are in shocking form at home. Which one overrules the other? You know, Sydney just came off a win. Melbourne are coming off 3 straight losses. Can Sydney go 2-2 and Melbourne potentially go 0-4? Or Melbourne get their first win and start to turn around their form, you know? A lot of people had Melbourne in the top 4, myself included. I actually had Melbourne playing in the grand final against the Tigers. But the Tigers are a different story right now. The next game, or game number 3, the first game of our Super Saturdays, was Carlton and Sydney. Now, Sydney took this one by 19 points away from home. I tipped the Swans, so I was pretty happy with this turnout. Paddy Cripps played awesome. A lot of the Swans really stepped it up, especially Isaac Heaney after being so disappointing the week previously against the Crows. However, Jared McVeigh doing his, I think it was a quad or a hamstring, can't quite remember. Wish him all the best. He's an absolute legend of the game, premiership player, and hope he can come back strong either next week or in a couple weeks' time. And hopefully the Swans can get a win this week against the D's, potentially with or without him. But Sydney need to really learn from this, really step it up and really start to continue this form over, especially those games at home. Carlton, however, they're in pretty good form right now. They're 0-3, but the games that they have lost, they've actually contended with and they've played really nicely. Carlton are a group of guys that can very easily go right to the top, but they still have some holes that they're working on, that they're fixing up. You know, their forward line, all their rookies, their setters, Gibbons, all them are really starting to learn their plays. Sam Walsh has been excellent the moment he started in JLT. He hasn't missed a beat. But Carlton, the future is bright at Carlton. Do not doubt that for a second. Carlton have Gold Coast this week. Now, to me, this game is 50-50. Carlton need a win and need to redeem themselves from the weeks previously because they are a good team and they can win and they've come very close to winning so far. However, Gold Coast, they're 2-1. Gold Coast are currently 2-1 and their only loss, which was to us, was by 1 point. Gold Coast are in excellent form right now. Now we go to the Giants and the Tigers. This game was very interesting. You can't pass 3 votes down from Jeremy Cameron. 30 plus disposals with 7 goals. Has that been done before? I don't know. Let me know whether or not that's been done before. That was a phenomenal game. I watched the second half of that when I got home from work. Oh my God. Richmond have... I touched on it last week. Richmond just scraped past the iceberg. This week, they've taken a chunk out of the iceberg, and it's only going to get worse. Richmond have to travel again next week over to Adelaide to take on Port Adelaide, and they could potentially be missing Rewalt and Rance, who they were missing this week, Cochin with his hamstring, Jaden Short did his MCL during the game, and Dustin Martin is looking at a suspension. This is a major challenge for the Tigers, and if they can come up and win, maybe there is signs of light in Tigerland. Giants have to travel next week over to the Cattery to take on the Cats, which I touched on earlier. Giants continuing their form over there. Not in doubt, but I'm going to take a guess that the form that Geelong are in at the moment, I think Geelong will come out on top in this one. Giants, I feel like they're either going to contend or they're going to go back to that form that they were in round 2 against the Eagles. But the Giants are really 50-50 right now. They come out one week and they smash the Bombers and they struggle with the Eagles. Then they smash the Tigers. Right? I know it's not our actual strong Richmond side, but the point is they got a good win. They played a tremendous game and you cannot take that away from them. And for Giants' sake, I hope that they do carry that form over and I hope that they do contend with the Cats. And if they steal it, all credit goes to them. Potentially, we could be looking at a top 4 side. Then we began our Saturday night games. It was Brisbane taking on the Power up at the Gabba. And the Lions, along with the Cats, are the only 2 3-0 sides right now. Nobody would have predicted this at the start of the season. But Brisbane are in amazing, amazing form. That is unreal how they did that. And shout out to these two guys. Some real passionate fans right there, potentially calling it early. The Lions at the Gabba, it's their fortress. I don't think they're going to lose there very often. It'll be very interesting because their next two is the Bombers at the G, and then they've got Collingwood travelling up to the Gabba to take them on. That game, Thursday night footy, I believe it's Easter Thursday, to be honest, or the day before Good Friday. That will be a tremendous game. Collingwood have some issues to fix, but Port Adelaide, the side that just fell short, some mad positives to take out of it. Connor Rosie really stepped up to the plate. Butters was pretty good. However, William Drew kind of stepped down a little bit from his form the past 2 weeks. Some real positives to take out of it for Port Adelaide, contending with a team that good in form. And Port Adelaide have Richmond this week. The rate Richmond are in, you can pretty much say it's a win for Port. Then we went on to the grand final rematch, and what a game this was. The Eagles stepping up to the plate, taking the game away from the Magpies, and it really annoys me with this one because people say, at least I heard people say, West Coast and Collingwood are the next Geelong and Hawthorn in terms of a rivalry. I don't think that's the case at all. Quite frank, West Coast have won their last 4 games against Collingwood. They won against the G in round 17 last year. They won the qualifying final, the grand final, and now round 3? That's 4 in a row, West Coast way. I don't think that's a rivalry at all. I think that's Collingwood struggling to beat a side. That's what I think that is. But you guys can let me know what you think in the comments. West Coast, however, tremendous form, and the fact that they have majority, over 50% of their remaining games at Optus Stadium, you can pretty much pencil them in as a top 4 side right now. And I've even seen things that they front runners to go back to back right now. Collingwood need a reality check though. Collingwood really need to fix what's wrong with their team, I guess. That it's up to them to identify what the problem is. It's up to them to implement an outcome to fix it, and it's up to them to get ready for Friday night against the Dogs. The Dogs, I don't know what to say about the Dogs, but the Magpies really, if they lose to Bulldogs this Friday, I'll be lost for words in terms of Collingwood. I won't have anything to say. You know, Collingwood's a side I actually really like watching, and I really enjoy most of their games. But Collingwood right now, it's not working. You know, it's just not working. They lost to Geelong by 7 points. They killed Richmond, but Richmond aren't 100% right now, so it doesn't really count as a contended win. You know, and then they came up against reigning premiers, the side that just beat them in the grand final, and you would have thought they would have learnt from their mistakes in the grand final and would have come out a lot stronger, you know. But this time, no, that wasn't the case. No. Came to today's games. Yes, today's Sunday is the time of recording this. I don't know when this video is going to come out, whether it's Sunday night or Monday night. I don't know. We'll just see. But Gold Coast, what a win for the Suns! Tremendous. They played amazing all game, and I even watched this game, and there was a lot of dirty Western Bulldogs supporters in the crowd yelling abuse, even throwing things at the players I saw, which I think that's downright unacceptable. And Gold Coast, they don't have the biggest fan base, but they were pretty loud, the ones that I did see on the Fox Footy. However, I really did like Gold Coast's game plan. I really did like they moved the ball. Them in the centre, their clearances into the inside 50, they just killed the Dogs all day. At the moment that the ball came in their inside 50, especially in the first quarter, you just knew something was going to happen. And Gold Coast currently, let's look at this. Over the off-season, Gold Coast lost their 2 co-captains, Tom Lynch and Stephen May. Gold Coast right now have 2 wins. Tom Lynch right now has 1 win. And Stephen May right now has 0 wins. What can we say about that? Future is bright at the Suns right now. Get it? Suns bright. I'm depressed because St Kilda lost. Full credit to the Suns though. We can't doubt them. You know, we can't. They're doing really, really good, and they're the side that a lot of people actually had not winning a game all year, and they came out and made little toys of the Dogs. You know, but you got to give credit where credit's due. The Bulldogs did beat the Suns in the 4th quarter. They did, and they even looked like they were going to win it at one stage. I thought they were going to steal it. I did tip the Dogs. The Dogs do need a lot of fixing up to get ready for Friday night against the Magpies. However, Bulldogs, they were 2-0, they're now 2-1. Is this the fall of the Dogs? Are they going to just plummet to the bottom of the ladder? Or are they going to put in the work and actually try to contend with the top 8 and maybe influence it a little bit? Get some more wins against some teams that a lot of people would expect them to, like Hawthorn. Moving on, speaking of the Hawks got a win today against the Kangas. What a win this was. This was tremendous. This was a really good win for the Hawks, especially where they needed it. I remember watching the start of this game because I was waiting for the Saints to play. We all know how that went. But, keep going. I saw the score at one stage was like 29-1. You know, Kangas got off to a firing start, and you know, I thought they were gonna win it at one stage, you know, but then Chad Wingard, wasn't he great? He booted 3 goals, including the sealer. His whole family was there watching him, and you gotta give credit where credit's due. The Hawks had a good win over a side that hasn't won yet, but that's beside the point. Well done to the Hawks. I even got a Hawthorn jersey right here. It's not mine. It's my girlfriend's. The number's on the back, which I picked up for her, and I just haven't given it to her. But the Hawks have the Saints this week. I will be attending. There will be a vlog for that video, as you know. But go the Hawks right now. Good job, Hawks. I'll give you something interesting. Round 1, Hawthorn scored 87 in a win. Round 2, Hawthorn scored 87 in a loss. And in round 3, they scored 87 in a win. Maybe you need to work on your game plan if you're scoring the same amount of points each game and not cracking 100. Just a talking point for the Hawks. As for the Kangas, they need a lot of work right now. I'm pretty sure they're sitting on the bottom of the ladder right now. They're 0-3, you know, and I actually said the Kangas could potentially make finals at the start of the year. That's not looking the best right now. However, Jared Pollock, he's been good for them. He's been good, but he hasn't been the same as his Port Adelaide form. They just can't get back to how they were playing last year, the Kangas. But hopefully they can, and hopefully they can get a win this coming week. And then we move on to the last game of the round, the Saints and the Dockers. Nah, in all seriousness, I actually really enjoyed watching this game. The lead was once 31 points in the second quarter. We started really slow in the first. We only had 1 goal at quarter time, and then we hit the Jets. We really turned it on in the second quarter. It was only 5 points at half time, so I had some faith right there. I have faith all game, to be honest. I do every single game. But this week was really different because we were looking at a potential 3-0 start, and we only won 4 games last year. So winning 3 right at the start really helps, especially having 12 points this early in the season. However, in the fourth quarter, there was a lot of mistakes, a lot of just fumbling the ball. We had a lot of shots on goal that we normally would make at Marvel, in my opinion, especially in the third. Gresham tried to go right to left on his set shot and put it out on the full. That killed me. A lot of dropped marks. The Dockers were amazing all game. You can't take credit away from the Dockers. They had to bounce back after losing to Gold Coast last week. The game was very physical. I noticed it was very intense. There was a lot of injuries, including Nat Fyfe sustaining a concussion. I hope Nat Fyfe is okay. And Brayshaw kicked 2 out on the fulls within like 20 seconds of each other. 2 back-to-back kicks in like roughly the same spot, which was like, how, bro? But the Dockers were good. They were better than us, unfortunately. We can only learn from this. We only lost by 5 points, and I'm so happy with our efforts. I'm so happy with the way that we played. We only had mistakes, but we're only human. We make mistakes. But hopefully we can identify the negatives and really fix on this and bring on the Hawks. Might I add, next week in the Western Derby, Eagles, Dockers, isn't Andrew Gaff gonna get abused? Oh my God, I actually feel so bad for him because he even copped it from Collingwood fans on Saturday night. But what can we do? You know, people just stir people up. You know, he did his time after doing the crime. My opinion, we should just leave him alone. We should move on from it. You know, Brayshaw forgives him. The Dockers as a community forgive him, but the fans are going to really rev him up and they're really going to get into him. And I really hope that it's not that bad. I really hope that he does get some leeway, but who knows. And that is all for my round review of round 3. I'll be back next week to review round 4. That'll be a very, very interesting one. But my next video will be the St Kilda versus Hawthorn vlog with my girlfriend. That will be really interesting. She'll be wearing the jersey that I picked up for her. If you guys have any feedback, any suggestions on videos, stuff like that, put it in the comments. If you guys disagree with something I said or you agree, put it in the comments. Or if you guys just have a fun fact you want to share about footy, I love reading comments, put it in the comments. Now, thank you for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. I put a lot of effort and a lot of work into these videos. And subscribe if you want more AFL content. And I'll see you guys next time.